What's up guys, welcome back to the vlogs. If you're new here, my name is Hayden and behind me is my S14 lemon that we've got. Hopefully going to be turning it into lemonade, so if you're keen on that journey, make sure you like and subscribe. So, finally got this back from the shop and we've got some rust repairs done. This side's been fabricated and this side has the part that Doyle makes actually. So that whole piece here has been redone and fixed up for the rust. That side was the side that the engineer actually made, which is pretty cool actually, that it works really well. We've also done rust repairs here and some on this side. Done a piece here, another piece here, and another piece here, and another piece here, which the bumper covers, so I'm not too worried about that being flat or whatever. And I think that was it. There's actually one more under the silk, but I can't really show you that. But today I want to put my intercooler on and radiator on. Yeah. So we're going to start with the intercooler first. It's pretty straightforward to mount up. So this just bolts in, I believe it's here, and then there's two little bolts under here that it just bolts up to. And then the piping can run through to this hole here, and then just goes to there. It's pretty easy there. This side is where it gets a bit more complicated because we need to drill a hole. Now, with this we've got a red top motor into an S14, so the cold side's actually a little different to the hot side. Fortunately our hot side is a T28, so we can run a T28 setup. So on this side we can just run an S15 hot side intercooler piping, and on this side we run an S13. The only issue with that though is that we don't know exactly where I put my hole. So we're just going to have to do the best to eye it out and then cut it with a 70mm hole saw or 80mm hole saw and see how we go. So yeah, let's get started. These are the two holes that I'm actually talking about. It just looks like it's a 10mm and another 10mm that's gonna actually thread through there. I'm not sure if this is the right thread though, so I am a little worried that if I do tighten this up it will be the wrong thread. I'm not sure though. We'll just give it a go and see how it goes, and then yeah, this just goes there and replaces the bolt that was already there to hold on to this radiator support piece. And then that will be the intercooler side mounted at least here, and then we can start this piping up to the other side. Fortunately those two 10mm, they did actually bolt up nice and smoothly. A little bit tight as I'm doing it up, so I think they are the wrong threads, but nonetheless it's worked, or those holes aren't actually threaded, I'm not sure. But now they are, it's all tightened up, all good. So now we'll start on doing the hot side of the piping, because that should be the easier side, and then we'll do the cold side. I also wanted to sort of bracket this up and see where exactly I need to go. I also have to move this, which from memory I've actually lost the piece that they give you to remount your washer container. For the intercooler kit they give you a mount. I don't know where it is now. So that will be interesting to try and figure out how we're going to do that actually, which I've totally forgotten about. Oh dear, dearie me. One piping, ready to rock and roll for the second. Alright, so hot side's all done, pretty much buttoned up, seems to be pretty good. I can't see any faults with it, but who knows? At the end of the day, I don't really know what I'm doing. So now we're on to the cold side. So I have put the first piece here. I've removed the washer fluid container basket thingy. We'll have to come up with something. I think you can turn them on their side or something like that, but I don't have the brace for that. And then we've got to drill our hole in here, which is tricky because I don't have any sort of measurements to go off to actually do this. So I think like right here-ish the hole will work from what I've tried to do to line it all up. So we'll go give that a try and see what happens. And if I screw it up, then shit, I don't know. So I may or may not have actually done a perfect hole, which I'd be very surprised if I did. But there we go. That's pretty much lining up almost perfectly. I'm very surprised if I actually did that perfectly. Very surprised. Electric drills suck. Don't use electric drills. They just don't cut the mustard. So don't do that. So I'll line the rest of this up and see if this actually does line up, and if it does, then holy shit, I've done it perfectly this time. Or almost perfectly. So the one part we are struggling with is this little bracket here going into that. This looks like it's perfect. It's like hard up against the throttle body. It looks like it's perfect. It's not touching anything really down here, which is really good because it's not meant to. And it goes through really well. But then it doesn't seem to line up exactly where I need it. So I don't know if I need to trim this or lift it up or anything and just like trim just a fraction here, or if this can be lifted up a bit more like so and then sort of push it through, or if this piece can actually just like sit like right there sort of thing and then just have a big gap like there to connect up. So we'll see what I can come up with, and I'll let you guys know. And voila! So I've just sort of made it so the pipe actually only goes to about here on both sides. So this big gap here is actually all just, I don't even know what this is, hose. And then this seems to be a bit off-centered, so I don't know if it's going to affect the flow of it or if it's going to flow alright. I am contemplating getting another hose that's longer so that this can sit back more and then the hose can just fill the gap. If that's acceptable, then that's probably what I'm going to do. But for now, it's all on, so that's pretty cool. And then I just need to get the hose from there to there. Voila! Alright, so next on the list is the Fenxi radiator, so we'll smash that out. That should be really easy, should just hopefully drop right in. Anything I can think of is that battery tray might need to be bashed in a bit. Probably will try and cut that battery tray out. I just need a whole bunch of spot welding, drill bit, thingy-mabobs to get rid of it. I don't have those on me right now, and I really want to install it, so I'm just going to go ahead and throw it in.
Love the chase and the hunt, and I set the pace when I'm running. I always take what I want and I always give it 100. Don't need a bank, no I'm funded. Play the game like it's nothing.
Alright, so the radiator's in, I'm losing light, so I'm going to catch you guys up in the next couple of days. We'll try and put this front end sort of back on just to see if the intercooler is hitting the bumper. I assume it is, and then we'll have to trim it and get that all sorted out as well. Pretty good progress. I've been told that my hoses are fine from the bro. We'll see how it goes, but otherwise we'll just put new hoses on, just make sure that they all connect up properly and give a good amount of gap. And then I've got radiator hoses for everything, so those will also go on, plus the fan. But yeah, so we'll catch up in the next day or two, and we'll see how the process is light again, so we can carry on with putting the bumper on and everything like that, and just see how it all lines up. I was a little concerned with the bumper support initially, but Fenxi is coming clutch and they know what they're doing. So you can see there that it will all bolt up the way it should, and then obviously these just go onto the fenders, and that should be all good. And so we'll just bolt that up and see how it all works and then put the bumper on. So this section here is hitting on the bottom side of the intercooler here. As you can tell there, it's got a few marks. So I've just been slowly trimming this away. Hopefully it will clear now. And then I'll probably try and heat this side up so it actually bolts in properly. And then we'll see what that side needs. But I think that side's clearing just fine. So I think it's literally just this. And then that should be pretty much the whole thing set up. The bumper support is not actually going in, as you can see there. It's way out. So I don't know if I'll have to get someone to like fabricate something to bolt down to here, or if I can just cut this off and it doesn't matter. I'm really not sure, so I'm just going to leave that for now. I don't think there's any way of me propping this up, otherwise it just looks like way out of line. So this sort of like sits like it should, but it is also resting on the intercooler, so I don't know if that's ideal or not. But we'll soon find out. So it's clearing here now, pretty much. It is just a little bit touching, I think, on here, but like literally by a mil. So once I get a Dremel, I'll probably just fine this up like that, and then so that would look tidy, and then it shouldn't hit this at all. Over here, fitment's pretty good. With some persuasion from some heat, I've managed to close the gap up quite nicely, so it does sit pretty good. If I just move the hole a little bit this way or that way, I can't remember, I can pull the bumper out this way. It only needs a couple of mil, and then that should fit pretty well. So now it's pretty much time to see how this side lines up. So that's it there, sitting pretty nicely, and that side. Excuse the damage on the bonnet, that's why this really is not fitting well. It decided it wanted to go for a flight, and now it's bent to shit and it's fucked. So yeah, that needs a new bonnet. But other than that, that's looking pretty good. Alright, so I'm pretty much done with what I need to do on the intercooler install and the radiator install. So the bumper is pretty much there, it's all fitting pretty well. Headlights seem to be lining up alright on both sides. The only thing I need to sort of figure out is just the gapping on the fenders and everything like that, just to make sure everything's good. But that's pretty much it. Nice tucked away intercooler, nice radiator, fits in really nicely. Just need to put the hoses on and everything like that. Yeah. So wiring, that should be done next week, so hopefully if it all goes well, we might actually be able to start this car up, which would be fucking sick if we can. The only other issue that I've noticed is the brakes aren't exactly working. It's funny, I was at the shop for a couple of weeks and it's already corroded on these, but that's not what the issue is. For some reason one of the calipers, I think it's the right side rear caliper, is binding, and I think it's sort of hogging all the pressure on the line, so they're not really working too well. They sort of work when you pump them up a bit, but otherwise they don't really grab. So I just need to sort that out. And then yeah, just put my fan on, my hoses on. I need to get all these sort of hoses, all the vacuum lines, stuff like that. Obviously put the intake on and everything like that. And we should be good to go. Hopefully it starts up. I really hope it starts up. If it doesn't, I'm gonna cry. So if you liked today's video, make sure you hit that thumbs up and you like and subscribe and share it around so we can grow a community and get a bit bigger and hopefully be able to keep doing all the mods that we want to do to this S14.